Okay. Welcome, Swati, to today's show of Radiant Realization with Namrita. I'm really glad to have you because when I see the work that you are doing, especially helping corporate professionals, I'm also one of them, in building mindset, the mid-career professional. So, Swati, to start with, I just want to know what type of mindset is required when you reach like a mid-career level, where you have good experience and you're aspiring for CXO position. So what drives that?
Okay, so first and foremost, thank you so much, Ramita, for having me here in your session and in your live. So I think mindset, if you say for a mid-career, in fact, for everyone rather, but there is a attitude, like they say, attitude defines your destiny of life, right? What kind of mindset that you carry, that's something which will really take you ahead or which will bounce you back in life, push you back. But I think when you're aspiring for those C-suite levels, the CXO or the CFO, etc. levels, I think one thing which I predominantly feel, which is very, very important, is a flexible mindset, an open mindset. If you feel that, I know it all, which happens, at certain time it happens because, people when they reach that particular stage, 20, 25 years of experience, you feel that, okay, fine, I know it all, I've done it all, I've seen everything of life, and I don't need to really learn. But that's where I feel that, people just start going down. That's where your downfall starts happening. So if you're really open to, flexible, which means open to learning, open to feedback, and really basically open to life as a new approach to, kind of apply anything in your life, that mindset really helps, is what I feel, particularly at that levels.
And how does it influence individual success? So if not having a flexible mindset,
Hmm.
not having a growth mindset, how does it impact individual success?
A lot. I mean, if I have to really give examples, there are many, many examples that I can give, but without really taking names, obviously. So if you say a growth mindset, okay, for example, what happens if it's a reverse, which is a fixed mindset, right? Someone who is fixated in a particular approach of life or fixated in a particular way of working. We've been doing things for donkey's years, like 10 years, 15 years, we've been working in a particular format, and someone tells us, things are supposed to be done differently and things like that. If we are fixated there, how it affects our success is because we are not really moving as per the world. And I keep telling my students and my coaches as well the same thing. We are living in a VUCA world, right, where everything is changing rapidly, like literally rapidly. Till about 1 year back we were talking about chat gpt, then now we have the third version of chat gpt coming up within a 1 year, not even 1.5 years, right? And if you're not really catching up to that, and it's not just chat gpt, there's so many ai tools, so many ml tools, so many new things, new innovative methodologies which have come. The approach of working has completely changed. If you're not really kind of catching up with that, which means if you're fixated to the original style of working, what will happen is, yeah, obviously you'll not be successful because the world is moving ahead and you'll be stuck there. You will feel in your own environment, oh my god, I'm doing everything that I'm possibly best in my capacity. But that's not how it works, right? I mean, you have to really pace up with the world. And that's where I say success really depends on, one of the biggest things is about having flexible mindset. If not, you may say growth mindset or flexible mindset, whatever. In fact, companies also, not only
Hmm.
individuals but companies also, if you see, I think pandemic has been a testimonial for all of us, right? The companies which
Right.
have really changed faster and really adapted to the change faster, those companies have really evolved and become better. The companies which have, like, let me try my own old way of working, we've
Hmm.
seen they have gone down as well, really. So yeah, so that's why it's very, very important for everyone, I would say.
Definitely. So I think pre-COVID level, working from home was never a concept. Now, even
Yeah.
if we are back to office, we still have that privilege, not feeling well or little down. You get to work from home.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so talking about ChatGPT, AI tools, all these opportunities, they're
Hmm.
just coming up. And they come and the change is so rapid. So how do you tell any individual to encash on the opportunities that are coming up or to take best advantage so they can accelerate their career growth?
So how do I help people or encourage people to accelerate or take up advantage of the new opportunities which are coming up, right? I mean, it's basically about being mindful of the opportunities that you're looking at. So first I would say is that, a lot of people don't even know what they're looking at. So awareness, again, first and foremost. You may not, obviously, I'm not saying that chat GPT, everyone will get a job or everyone will want to get a job in that particular arena, or their job may not apply to that particular concept or that particular domain. But again, when I say being mindful or being aware, is what are your key strengths? Okay, what are your key attributes? Where do you need to work upon? Like we say, the SWOT analysis. So your strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. I think every once in a while, every 6 months, every working professional should do that. For yourself, for your team members, at least for yourself, if not for anyone else, because that's when you will come to know, okay, these are my areas of opportunity. I don't call them weakness also. These are my areas of opportunity. I need to really understand how can I develop that. Okay, once you know you're doing working on that, then in your visible arena, for example, I'm doing some certifications, I'm doing some data analysis certifications, or maybe some scrum master certification, etc. That's where I have to keep my eyes and ears open. That's where I have to keep my horizon open. I need to be visible around. I need to make sure that I talk about it. When I did my instructional designing, for example, so I wanted to get into content development. I wanted to get into, while I was into training all the time, but I wanted more of the e-learning content development exposure. I wanted more of that kind of work, so that my certification really is applicable in a real life environment. That's when I started talking about it. I started floating my resume in places like that. I started joining groups where I could enhance my skill set. I could see some possibilities happening. And yeah, in the industry, obviously, you know a lot of people. I mean, fortunately, I've been in the industry for quite some time now. So when you do some certification, you already start talking about it. That hey, I'm preparing myself for this level. So if you have something coming up, let me know. So it's about ask and you shall receive, right? It's about that. But yeah, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people, the mindset that they have is, pehle main certification kar lu, then I will start looking out.
Hmm.
First I will do that, then I will see if I am, so that's threat is there, that fear is there. Will I be able to be eligible for that role or not? So I would say I take it the other way around. You're preparing yourself, prepare the environment also accordingly, side by side, so that by the time you are ready for that role, the environment is also ready to accept you into that role. So yeah, that's how I would advise people to go about fetching for opportunities.
Basically, start talking about it, discuss with people who are doing similar course, make
Absolutely.
yourself known among industry when you're pursuing anything.
Correct.
That's really good. And since that key skill set you would acquire, it will soon become talk of uh,
Yeah,
town, basically talk
very
of the
much.
town, or at least among your circle.
Very much, absolutely.
Okay, so I would say all growing continuously, enhancing your skill set is imperative in today's journey when the world is changing rapidly. Maybe
Right.
not just for, because I come from finance background and I also see a lot of changes happening in my domain.
Right.
So Swati, suppose if we take of example of an individual who is not able to go ahead with this fast-paced world and has faced some setback in his
Hmm.
or her career.
Hmm.
So, what would be the first thing, like to maintain a positive mindset for
Hmm.
that person to come out of that? What advice would you give that individual?
Very interesting question, and a very relevant question, to be very honest, Namrata. So, this is something which we general combat mechanism of people of failure or rejection or any kind of denial that they have tried and applied and they haven't got through. A general combat mechanism is they will push it under the carpet. They will give it a pass that, okay, fine. Or maybe the second thing that would happen is that some people will take it really really to their mind, and they would call themselves, or they would term themselves as rejection or failure. Okay, both the situations are not good. First situation, why it's not good is because I'll tell you why. Because when you push something under the carpet, TK, I will not say that, okay, one failure or one setback or one opportunity lost is the be all and the end all of the world. You have opportunities, but you need to also understand, like we do in any process driven approach, RCA, right? Which is root cause analysis. Why did it happen? Where did I fail? or what went wrong, what did I do good, what did I not do good, what went wrong, how it could have been done better. So every opportunity lost should give you a lesson, whether it's an interview failure, whether it's a setback, whether it's a failed assignment, whether it's a failed business, whatever it is, maybe you applied abroad. A lot of people do that, right? Apply abroad, they can't get through it. Maybe it's a failed, maybe you're giving an entrance exam. A lot of people do that. They go for competitive exams and they try multiple times and they fail and they term themselves as rejection. But I would say do a proper RCA. What, maybe a process driven approach. So I'm a little process driven, so I apply that. Okay, which will tell you next time when you try, these are the things that you should not do, and these
Hmm.
are the things that you should continue doing, etc. The other thing is, when I say a lot of people term themselves as failures or rejections, that is even bad. I do a lot of these sessions where I work around people on their limiting beliefs, okay, pertaining to their own self. And you will be alarmed to hear that people, on the face of it, people look very, very strong, very positive, extremely, like you and I, right? I mean, you will not come
Hmm.
to know on their face value when you're talking to them that, they have so many hidden fears and so many hidden insecurities within them. So, and when we do those sessions, when we interact, when we talk to people, we come to know that, oh my God, there's so much inside them. Things like, and a simple thing that, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I can do this. And where does it come from? One failed assignment, one rejection, one failed decision that you've taken, one bad decision. And I term myself as a failure. I term myself as, I can't do this. This is not my cup of tea. I am too old for this. I am too young for this. All of those things. What are all these? These are all limiting you. These are all pulling you down. So I would just say to all those people is, at first, I think, understand in both the situations where what could you do better, and how could you propel yourself, and a narrative, continuous narrative to be given to yourself, affirmations. I keep telling people, especially people who are low on self-esteem, people who have really gone down on their self-esteem or their own morale because of these setbacks, etc. Positive affirmations. Be around people who can pull you up, not people who can push you down and say, ha, you could not do it. We have such people in our environment as well. So, that is where it's very, very important for yourself to believe in yourself. When you believe in you that you can do it, anything is possible under the world. As it's anything is possible for anyone, but it's just about how you convince yourself and how you believe in yourself. So those affirmations, those positive reassurances are very, very important for an individual, as I feel.
Definitely, I agree, Swati. It makes a lot of difference. But then, whenever when we talk about our day-to-day corporate life, there's always this that your boss is not happy with you, they are not satisfied, and that leads like you also become sad with yourself. I think that is the first indication when you are not happy, not feeling like working or putting your heart and soul in work.
Correct.
So for all such situation, I would like to understand from you how to leverage such situation from a growth perspective, because there is some skill set mismatch or some expectation mismatch which is
Hmm.
causing this friction between you and your senior. So
Correct.
how do we leverage such situation that it becomes like a stepping stone to our career growth?
Wonderful question. And again, a very, very relevant, since you are already in corporate, you know exactly the pain point of what's happening, so those are very interesting and very relevant questions. I think 90%, I was reading some article the other day. I think in India, the stress level because of work is about every three individuals out of five, which means what, 75%, 75, 80% population of our country is struggling because of work stress. And in that work stress barometer, 90% comes because of a bad boss or because of a boss. I would not say bad or good, because of a boss whose wavelength is not matching to yours.
Correct.
Like rightly what you said, So maybe see, no one has a personal vendetta against you. That
Hmm.
is something which you have to understand very, very clearly. The person has hired you to do a job. They are paying you. I mean, he's not paying from his pocket, but they hired you, right? There's a hiring process involved, and they've had some aspirations for that particular role. No one has a personal vengeance against anyone. No one is on a personal expedition that I have to prove this person wrong. Swati, aaj office mein I have to put her down. No one has that. A lot of people start believing that my boss hates me and my
Hmm.
boss doesn't like me. So first thing is you have to remove that air from your mind that your boss is against you. The reason why there is some gap between your mindset and his mindset, or his thought process and your thought process, is because expectations, rightly mentioned by you. You know, maybe, not maybe, but 9 out of 10 times when I talk to the boss and the colleagues, whenever there's a problem like this, when I coach people, this is the same thing, that the colleague, the employee doesn't know what the boss is expecting out of them. The boss doesn't know, has not articulated very clearly what he is expecting from the from the associate or from the employee. And that's the reason why I talk in my webinars also, and my coaches as well. I tell them that you need to have a clear goal, a clear KRA in every organization, which unfortunately in today's generation also is missing. I mean, when you enter any organization, the first thing that they should hand you is your KRA sheet, that this is what is expected out of you from this particular job from day one. But unfortunately, it's not happening. 90% of organizations or 90% of bosses will not give you that. But as an employee, what can you do? First, go and have a very clear communication, whatever stage of, if you're a new employee, fine, good, nice way to start, right? You joined in new, you say, hey, I'm joining new, I want to know in the first month itself, what are you expecting out of me, what am I, what do you think I should be doing on a month on month, year on year basis. Accordingly, you can do that, you can perform, whether you perform, not perform, have a clear review mechanism with your boss on a monthly basis. A lot of people don't do that. I mean, I'm startled when they do those feedback sessions and those performance review sessions with managers, and they say we have our performance review only once a year during the annual appraisal. No doubt you are feeling like that your manager doesn't like you, or no doubt that you're not improving an inch because no one has given you feedback, or you have not even solicited feedback. People are busy, right? Their bosses are busy, but you need to understand that if I don't get feedback, how will I improve? So I think the starting point is having a clear cut expectation. If your manager has not given you, please, I would suggest to everyone, go and have a chat, go and have a communication with your boss, with your reporting manager, whoever it is, that what are you expecting out of me, and rather than believing and in your mind cooking up things that he hates me or he doesn't like me or he's always shouting at me. I think the first thing that you have to say is, okay, what are your expectations out of me? What is the plan of the year? What do you want me to do on a month on month basis? And then going back to them on a monthly basis and saying, versus this target, I have achieved this. What do you think is your feedback? How have I fared in the last month? Have I done good? What have I done wrong? Please tell me, help me. In that kind of a situation, if you go with that approach, no manager will come back to you and say, boss, I don't like you. They will give you feedback because they will see the intent. I always keep saying intent is more important than the skill. Intention is more important. When I see an intention coming right, someone coming to me and saying, Swati, I don't understand this, please can you help me, at least that intention is there. But someone who is not doing anything and thinking that, oh, he's great skilled person, that's a will issue, what we say, right? I mean, it's not
Hmm.
the skill, it's a will issue. So that's what is very important. I think for everyone, I would say, to answer your question, Amrita, in a short this thing, that do your expectation setting very clearly and communicate frequently with your managers. I have had many such coaches at very senior levels. I've had an AVP who I've recently coached, and very similar session, a similar situation, AVP of a very big bank, a multinational bank, and the same problem happened. He was under this, and the problem is, when you're not getting feedback, when your manager is behaving such arrogantly with you or rudely with you, your confidence level day on day goes down, and you don't feel like going to office, right? As you said, you feel like, I don't know, why am I working here also? Environment really matters, right? You don't want to go to an environment where people are just looking down upon you. So this person, no matter how much experience he had, he was going down every single day on his morale, which was affecting his health, his personal life, and all of that. So we take things very lightly, but the root cause was simple, that he was not communicating enough with his manager. He did not know what the manager is expecting out of him and why the manager is behaving in such a way. Simple answer to the entire problem was communicate. So the moment he changed the pattern of working, in 3 months, everything changed. And now he is leading the project and the manager is so happy with him. And all good things are happening just because the communication loop has now been built within them. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing this story. And it's really relatable. I could visualize such situation. But Swati, like you rightly pointed out, bosses they usually do not have time when juniors go and seek feedback. So, what would make it easier? Because even if you go and ask, it is usually the recent projects that you've done with them that is the feedback that they would get. For them to recall for past 3 months, 6 months, what an individual has done. So, as an individual, what can I do to make his life easier? So, he or she has an unbiased feedback about my performance of entire year or half yearly, whatever the
Hmm.
period may be.
So today only, I had written this article. I don't know if you got an opportunity. Today only, I had posted this article on LinkedIn, which is start, stop, and continue approach, right? So when and again, very rightly said, bosses don't have time. So if you go to them and ask them what happened, what did I do 3 months back? They don't know, they don't remember. You ask me also, I have a team of 20-25 people. Someone comes and tells me, Swati, how was I performing 3 months back? I would be like, I don't know, I don't even remember what did I have 3 months back. Forget about 3 months, 3 days back to eat, right? So I wouldn't know. But yeah, I think so. First things first is feedback always has to be real time. You can't go back and ask what did I do 3 months back or 6 months back. For that there is data, and that's why data is important, right? So when you do a yearly appraisal, when I do a yearly appraisal, I look at data. I don't look at personal prejudices or biases or my thought process of this person. How was she 3 months back? How is she 6 months back, etc.? No, I think it's all about data. And the more presentable, the more you can present your data, the more frequently you can present. And that's why I say a review mechanism, a monthly review mechanism is important, so that you get an opportunity to interact with your boss 12 times a year. You get 12 different feedbacks from him, and okay, every month you're getting a feedback, you're moving in that direction or not. That's one. The second thing is, so that the periodicity, the frequency has to be there. You can't, like, to answer your question, 3 months 6 months back ka feedback to koi bhi nahi dega aapko. You don't have to expect that also. That's a wrong this thing. uh, but yes, on a yearly basis, how do they give feedback? How do I give feedback? Or how would I typically expect feedback from my manager? Is when I go back to him and say, this is my annual performance and these are the things that I've done. That's when he will say, okay, fine. And obviously, we've had sessions earlier as well. That's when he will say, okay, overall, the yearly performance has been good, bad, ugly, whatever. And these are the things that you need to work upon. But I will not ask him on that particular 3 month cycle what happened, etc. So that is, yeah, right. So that the frequency has to be maintained. Second is when you're soliciting feedback, and that's what I wrote in today's article, is that when you're soliciting feedback, a lot of people get scared also that, how do I solicit feedback? If I go to my boss will be like criticizing me, or you are a, I don't know, a lot of people have this, they're not very empathetic, or they're not very they're on the face, basically they're not meaning to be rude, but on the face they'll say, Arey, you don't do anything, we hired you for something else, you're doing something else, or you're too slow, or you do whatever, they might just say whatever things which can hit you at the wrong chord. So the best thing to do is have a structure. Again, in everything, have a structure. So you tell your boss what is expected out of you. I mean, expected as in what kind of feedback do you want? So what do I start doing? What do you think? If you're Namrata, you're my boss. I would say, Namrata, you've seen my performance in the last 1 year, 6 months, whatever. What do you think I'm not doing right now in my repertoire, in my work, that I should start doing? Which means you will give me some feedback in my approach, in my learnings, in my whatever, in my mindset. What should I start doing? What should I add on to my daily routine or whatever? What should I stop doing? What are the things that you feel? Again, I'm not asking him to attack me. I'm just saying, what do you think I am doing which I should stop doing? Maybe it's not helping the business, maybe it's not helping me. Any habit that I'm not doing properly, any approach, any process that I'm not following properly, what should I stop doing? So he will then have a pathway to tell me that, okay, fine, Swati, these are the things. Maybe your client engagement is too much over the top, stop doing that, or maybe go slow on that, or whatever. And what should I continue doing? That, which means, what are the things that I'm doing properly which you think is good for the business, for me, for my growth? I should continue. So here you're getting a constructive feedback, here you're getting a negative feedback, or what you should not do, what you should do. So you're getting a very structured feedback in that particular system. So when you ask that start, stop, continue, no one will then attack you. They will tell you what are your actions that they want you to continue, what are your actions that they want you to stop. They will tell you what are your actions that you need to start. So here you're actually keeping a very, tight framework for your manager. They will not attack you, they will not criticize you, and they will not say you are like this, just your actions, 1 2 3, that's it. So that will go down in your mind also very positively.
Mm.
So that's what I feel, you, if you really are someone who follows this technique, and I've tried this many a times, I mean, thankfully I've had a very good rapport with my managers, so I don't need to apply this a lot of times. But whenever I know that the opposite person, you can preempt, right? When I know this
Mm.
opposite person might just, give it on my face, I will give a structure, okay, I have 10 minutes with you, give me this, 10-minute structured format. So people will then frame their, you know otherwise, if you leave it open and say, Namrata, give me feedback, you could say anything about me, you could point out on anything at all which I may not like as well, and then I will only crib here. He said something which is not right. How can he talk about me like this? How can he intrude in my life? A lot of times people give personal feedback as well, that you're too pally with other people, you should not be, so it's not. And then you will feel sulkish that, my manager pointed out on my personal personality or my behavior and things like that. So why give that room only to your manager?
Correct. Start, stop, continue. So
So
these are going to be like three magic words to
yeah,
solicit feedback.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm. So Swati, when I started my career, I was very excited to do what I am doing, and I was every day when I used to go to work, I was learning new things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think over a decade, it has been like I've learned couple of things that is required. Definitely the dynamics, industry dynamics are changing and you build yourself. But now that sense of excitement, the sense of fulfillment that I used to get, I don't think I expect myself to be at that level. So how do I bring that sense of fulfillment in my work? It's become lot more routine, lot more monotonous.
Hmm. Well, this is a thing with everyone, with predominantly everyone, and like you said, decade. I've been into the corporate for more than 2.5 decades now, so yeah, I understand. But there's also how I would approach it, or how I approach it. And a lot of people ask me that, still after 25 years of experience as well, how are you so jumpy? How are you so excited? And I'm the same way. I'm like this in my office as well, in any team meetings as well. And I see a lot of people who are reverse. And again, I'm not saying blaming them, etc. But it's very important. We need to have that spark alive, and this is for everything, for any relationship, for any association, for anything. You need to have that, like you said, the right word, monotonous. If anything becomes monotonous, what will happen? Obviously, you will feel like, okay, you're doing this over and over and over again. Your mind will get bored. Our mind gets bored very easily. So something new. What is a new innovative thing that you, and every field, every field has something new, innovative things to come up. Something where you can, and if you have an atmosphere, or a place in your work environment where you are given, luckily I have had a free hand being given to me all the time. So the experimentation, kida in me is always on, right? Okay, let me try this new thing. Let me try. We are doing this new social media gimmick for our organization, for my team. So let me do that. Let me just try building a community model or something like that. So what I would suggest is, how I would attack, or deal with this problem, is that look at the industry trends in your own domain. And that's why I say LinkedIn, being around on LinkedIn is much more fruitful, right? Because you come to know what is happening in the industry, and every industry will have something new coming up for sure. Thanks to all this technology which is ramping up so much, every industry will have something. In finance also, there will be something coming up, some new laws coming up, some new innovations, methodologies coming up, some new ways of making maybe the policies easier, maybe making it more user friendly, whatever it could be. So when you have that new trends coming up, and you want to inculcate that new trend into your organization, so you are kind of becoming a brand ambassador of introducing a new trend, or a new something which is new in your organization, and then you become like a champion of that. And that's when that's what drives you. So I know it's a little it's easier said than done, because you will feel that, अरे वो अपना काम ही नहीं हो पा रहा, अब नया क्या करें. I
Correct.
understand that. But that new thing will only let you do your own work also in a faster pace. Because, when you're doing the 9 to 5 reports and analytics and all of those things, regular, that is not exciting. That will just, you're not really getting up off your bed to feel excited. You're like, okay, fine, this is another day. But when you're doing, okay, I have a deadline, I have a project that I'm going to launch, I'm going to do this brand new invention or whatever innovation or project that I'm going to launch in front of the entire management on, say, March 31st. So it's driving you towards something, right? It's really picking you up, it's really pulling you towards it. So I do that, every now and then I do that, and I encourage everyone in my team as well to bring up new ideas, and again, if we are short of ideas, we can always brainstorm. You have a team, you can always brainstorm. As a leader, you can leverage their ideas as well. The young, like we have now in our team, good mix of young blood and seasoned employees. So yeah, the young blood will get you more ideas. What's happening? Was the Gen X or Gen whatever millennials needing right now? What are they doing? So yeah, that's exciting times. So it's upon us how do we want to make our job exciting, and really try innovative things. And if you have an environment which permits that, all the more better for you, because then you can try your hands onto these things.
Definitely. Very beautifully explained at this point, Swati. I really liked it. I would like to know from you, how does mindset affects career satisfaction? Like
Sorry, I didn't get that. Mindset effect.
your satisfaction at job or satisfaction about your overall career.
Hmm.
Because people tend to jump jobs expecting that I get better pay at different organizations. But I feel the underlying theme that would drive you for any work is the satisfaction that you derive at the end of the day.
Correct. Correct.
So what mindset should an individual adopt to have this fulfillment or satisfying job?
Hmm. I wouldn't say satisfaction, but I would say fulfillment rather. I would, satisfaction is basically, yeah, being happy with whatever you have.
Hmm.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes people want more, right? So when you feel fulfilled, when you feel that you accomplished something, you feel that, I'd like to be there. But I think, touching upon the mindset first, I would say, again, people don't switch jobs because of the satisfaction quotient or fulfillment quotient. They could be extremely satisfied with the company. In fact, the reason why they are there in the company for the first place, they don't like the job, but they are comfortable. And I always keep saying that comfort zone is inversely proportional to success. Right? The more comfortable you are, you are going to be there only for 20 years and do nothing. Success will not come to you if you're comfortable. But yeah, coming to the mindset point, so it's not just satisfaction that is leading them to go out, but it's more of what are they kind of looking at in for themselves in the organization. When I say mindset, what is more important? Are you looking at, and see, every organization, every company, every place that you work, every person that you work, you will have good or bad people. You will have good situations, bad situations. You will have corporate politics. We've all seen that, right? There is no single company in the world, no matter how much we call great place to work and all those awards that we have got in companies, no single organization will be the most healthy, most conducive for your physical, mental, emotional health, and to kind of pamper you in the so-called environment that you want. But how you look at it, you look at the glass half full or half empty. That is what mindset is all about. That is what I would say, that lets you to be in that organization or part away from that organization, or even to actually continue. So if I look at my organization or any other organization wherever I have been, I have looked at what are the brighter spots. And again, not only organization, whatever work you're doing as well. If you really want to be excited, if you really want to do more, you have to be able to have that vision to see that, okay, what is the good part of it. If I am a person who's always finding faults, and there are quite a lot of people, right? I mean, I don't like the cafeteria, I don't like the boss, I don't like the timing of this organization. I'm getting I have been called to office. I mean, this person would come to office only twice a day or twice a week. Okay. And the twice a week also, she would or he would come to office only for 4 hours. Still, that person will crib that, I have to travel all the way and come. Look at the people outside. God, my God, people are traveling like 4 hours a day. And I feel really sorry for such people. But still, they are liking their job because they have that mindset. This my now, if you tell me honestly, I love going to office and working. But on the contrary, because there's a different bonding altogether. You bond with your team members, you interact with them, you get to know more ideas, you're learning every single day. Physical connect is always better than staying at home. And now that we become comfortable, it's a different thing. But so people have their own visions of looking at things. All I would say is, the mindset. Why do I say mindset really matters? If you have a mindset of looking at the glass half full and not half empty, you will be able to then say, okay, I have this many resources which are there with me. how do I add on to my resources? How do I build up on that resource, and how do I make my job more fulfilled, so to say, right? So if I have this opportunity, how do I make it 10x as the opportunity? How do I utilize this, leveraging my opportunities? Otherwise, I will always be looking at what do I not have. When I have a fault finding mentality, I will always say, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have technology at my side, I don't have people to help me out, I don't have manpower, I don't have XYZ, blah blah blah. We are not allowed to do this, we're not allowed to do that. But when people want to do it, they will do it, right? And that's exactly what differentiates the winners from the losers. So yeah, I think that's what I would want to say, that to be fulfilled, first and foremost, is what you need to have is a mindset of looking at things in a positive way, looking at things in a optimistic way, and being resourceful, I would say.
Yes, agreed. Being resourceful is the word that I
Being
connected.
resourceful. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, Swati, what happens like while you covered like a decade of your corporate journey, you have lot of ambition. Like, I want to try this, I want to achieve this position, I want to introduce many things in the organization. But at the same time, it so happens that the desire to do great things are so much that we tend to miss out on our past achievements.
Hmm.
So in this case, how do we balance that we derive joy of what we have achieved, at the same time plan out how do we see our ambitions getting materialized?
Okay, interesting. We miss out on past achievements. I don't know. I don't miss out on past achievements because it's all written down. And that's why I say goals.
Okay,
Right?
okay. So
Yeah.
if I had to rephrase, oh, today I feel that I have to do XYZ things,
Hmm.
but I do not feel lot of pride that I had when I cleared my chartered accountancy, when I did my international qualifications. All those prides and achievements, I think I have absorbed everything.
Hmm.
So today I really feel like, oh, I'm not achieving something that I want to achieve. At the same time, people come and tell me you should be proud of all the academic creds that you carry with yourself. And at some point in time, you feel, okay, that is done. That's
Yeah.
done.
So, that's a very nice way that you've explained it very well. I think that's human tendency. It's not just with you, Namrata, it's with everyone. So, we are hungry, we are greedy, everyone, right? We are hungry to achieve. Until the time we don't achieve, it's like, I give a metaphor like, it's like I'm like a crying baby who is crying for that doll, which is in that in the shelf of the departmental store. I really want that, and I'm dying for that. I'm crying and I'm sitting and like literally stamping my legs and feet and everything, and I'm crying till the time I don't get the doll. But the moment I get the doll, my mom or dad buys me the doll, I come back home, and what happens? 15-20 minutes, I'll play with the doll. After half an hour, you'll find the doll in pieces. The destructive
Yes.
child that I am, right? And that's the situation. When we grow up also, it's like that only. Our mind is ultimately that chota bacha, right? We forget immediately what we have achieved because we've got it. It's achieved, right? It's done and dusted. And that's the way, that's human psychology, right? The moment you achieve something, and that's why we say goals, when you've already achieved it, don't keep the same goals for the future. If you've achieved something, your mind will tell you it's already done. Now why do you need to do it
Hmm.
again? It's like a repetition. Rather increase a notch a little bit. So yes, but yes, having said that, we should not be not proud of our achievements as well, because obviously we've done a lot of things. And what happens is when you're not proud, I would not say pride, but joyful, or you're not conscious, or you're not satisfied about what you've achieved. What happens is again the inner chatter. I am not good enough. I need to do more, and you're beating up yourself, and you're really wanting to jump into something new. There's always a urge to do something better than what I have done earlier, which is fair. But I think a constant recollection that okay, so that's why what I do is I maintain a gratitude journal. And I think I've spoken about this a lot of times. That has helped me a lot while I'm still very ambitious. And there are many people, you are so there are a lot of people in NLP. I've learned this. There are people who are towards achievement, and there are people who are far away from, which means that some people will go towards the goal will pull you towards it. Some people will want to achieve the goal because it's pushing you away. They don't want to see the pain. So either you do it through joy or you do it through pain. Now, when you're saying this is typically a person who wants to get joy of achieving something, right? When I climb the mountain peak and when I, reach the peak of the mountain, when I see the view, I will get joy. That is for me the ultimate nirvana state, right? And but when I achieve that, I'll be like, okay, ho gaya na, abhi kya? What next? The moment I achieve it, I'll be like, what next? It's okay. But if gratitude, when you're doing gratitude journaling, why do I do that? Is because constantly you're reminding yourself every single day, I have so many good things in my life. I have achieved so many good things. I have family, I have a job that I'm taking care of, that's taking care of my family. I have food on the table. I have a roof under my head, whatever. I have achieved so and so. Today I became this. Yesterday I became a TEDx speaker. Today I launched my book. So when I'm doing all of that, I'm grateful. I'm also reminding myself, my mind, that there are so many good things which have happened in my life, and I'm grateful for that. And the more grateful you are off from the universe will give you more reasons to be grateful for it, right? So I believe very, very strongly in that. And ever since I have been doing gratitude journaling, it's really transformed my mindset, at least, because I was also, honestly, I was also from that school of thought that that hungry attitude is there. Now doing this, you don't even want to sit back and enjoy that I've done this. Like, next moment is like, okay, let's party, ho gaya, ab karo, aage badho. Like that. So I think it's very much human. We all are like this, but I think it's very also very important to, like your friends say to you, it's also important to acknowledge and absorb that you worked hard for it, and give yourself credit for that. What will happen is, it'll only increase your self confidence, it'll boost your morale and boost up your personality to achieve better heights in life.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
this kind words and nice advice.
Right.
Okay, sometimes, Swati, I think I've seen a lot of people, and I've also experienced in some instances that after achieving something, we tend to go into self-doubt, like an imposter syndrome. Like, do do I truly deserve this? And that has really impacted the following projects or the follow-on work quality that an
Hmm.
individual delivers. So, would like to understand from you, why do we go in this imposter syndrome dilemma after we've already achieved it? Because we've put in our heart, blood, soul, everything to achieve that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when we find ourselves in this situation, how do we manage ourselves?
Very, very nice question. And this is again, which happens to a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people do that to themselves, right? So what happens is, when you say, and I always say this, never call yourself lucky. So when someone tells me, you achieved this in life, you got lucky. Or, I've heard a lot of people say that, okay, whenever you compliment them, you say, you're doing pretty good in life. You'll say, yeah, God has been kind. Fine. I mean, it's good. I mean, you're a God believing person, which is fine, but it is your hard work as well. Rome was not built overnight. Remember that. I think that's something which I keep constantly in reminding to myself as well. A lot of times we all seep into that thing that, how does imposter syndrome happen? Because you are believing in yourself that this came to you by fluke. This came to you by chance. You just got lucky that you came, you got that award, or you got that
Mm.
position, or you got that. And then in corporate environments, very, very easy, because people will feed all those negative things to you. I remember so in this organization, I was working in Circo, and in this organization, I jumped up one ladder every single year. In 7.5 years, I got 8 promotions. So I joined
Wow.
them. Yeah, I joined them as an associate in 2003, and I left them in 2010 October as a general manager training. Okay, while I was going up the ladder, I know how much heart and blood and sweat I was putting in that work, because I was really, really working hard. And all that I've learned in training, I attribute to that particular organization, because I learned under a very strong mentor. Okay, and she's still my mentor. But for the world outside, they were looking at, oh, she's just got lucky, she's become, so my mentor was a training head, so they would say, she's XYZ's favorite person. That's why she's getting the chance. She's jumping. I literally, we had this situation there in that organization where, we had people, IJP system hota hai, right? Internal
Yes.
job posting, internal job promotion. So we had a sequential internal job promotion. So I was in the 10th or 11th batch, right? And before me, there were about 9 batches, right? So whenever there was an IJP rolled out, everyone used to talk about the same thing, that, your turn will come only when all the 9 batches are exhausted. Then your turn will come. And the first IJP I applied, and I was like, I'm not going to wait for 10 more months or whatever. I'm eligible, I'll fight for it. And I gave that opportunity and I got through. So that was an eye opener for everyone. So I was like what do you say, the chain breaker or whatever, right? So and then I told everyone that, if you are deserving, you should get it. It's not like you have to wait for 10 months. If seniority was the criteria, they would have mentioned it, right? The seniority is not the criteria. Performance and your eligibility and your competency is the criteria. So that's how it is. But then people will keep telling you, people will keep putting in your mind that, and people will talk behind you that, she's just someone's favorite, or she got lucky about it, or maybe, she made her way through by doing some unscrupulous activities, etc. And that's something which is very, very common in corporate. But you need to tell yourself, how much hard work you have put in. The moment you decide that, no, oh, I got it, I got lucky, that's the end of it. That's the imposter syndrome. So I never said that to myself, because I saw the kind of hard work. And I always keep saying that, uh, all the overnight successes are also not overnight success. You see that overnight success. Oh, someone got viral, one video got viral. But imagine that before that one video, he had sent out thousands of videos and he has done so much of practice. Then that the thousandth video became viral, right? So we have to, people discredit you, but you should not discredit yourself. You have put in so much effort, so much hard work, so much time and, method onto that particular work. You will get the credit of that.
Yes, I really agree. And like you said, that since you deserve that the promotion or the next designation, you should go for it. And
Yeah.
I would say this is more like an seizing the opportunity and taking little risk or to challenge yourself. But I feel at that stage, you tend to hold yourself behind because accepting a new challenge or meeting the requirement of next designation, it's something you always question yourself. So in this case, what type of mindset should an individual adopt to have these small risk taking capabilities that will push them to next level, at the same time be confident in whatever he or she has in their arsenal?
Very, very nice. Very nice question. I think, and this is very important for anyone who wants to grow. This is what happens. And particularly in women, I have seen that. I mean, there's a statistical study also which was posted by LinkedIn sometime back, I think last year, that women are the ones, when it comes to job application or applying for higher positions, women, even if they are 100% qualified for that particular role, 60% of women only will apply. Rest will be think like 60 or 40, 50% will apply. They will think that, okay, no, I need to have something more. But on the other side, if in the, in the male population, even if they are 60% qualified, they will apply. And that's the basic difference. Why? Because, our mind is telling us that, no, we have to be perfectionist. We have to be like, only if I'm perfectionist. And women have that. Most women I've seen, not everyone, I'm not being gender biased here, but that's a statistic which LinkedIn has put up. And I've seen also across, you will just wait for yourself to be absolutely perfect, and then only take that. When you're taking risk, you have to understand that learning will come from failure. You have to cross failure 100 times before you reach success. So you can't say that new position I will learn overnight. When you became a mother, you did not know how to take care of the child overnight, right? Once you take care of the child 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, then you realize, okay, this is how I'm supposed to take care of the child. And you will do mistakes. That doesn't mean that you will not adopt motherhood, right? You will not run away from that. Similarly, anything in life, there will be an opportunity, that there will be a risk factor, but there is learning as well. If you are just so comfortable, again, like I said, if you're just so comfortable, ki nahi, nahi, I'm scared, I think I'll do this job better, I can't do that job better, you will never grow. If our parents would have thought that, we would have never been able to walk or swim or jog or run or whatever. They have thrown us into the water, right? And they have said, okay, swim. That's risk, isn't it? I mean, we could drown as well. I mean, they could have put on, I have, how did we all learn cycling? sit on the cycle and they will leave us. And we've fallen into the tree so many times, right? But that's the way, that's risk. So risk is everywhere in life. But if you don't take risk, no pain, no gain, right? If you don't take risk, how will you come to know how which ones are you going to be successful on, which ones are you not? So that's the mindset that you need to have, that it's there is no failure, there is only learning. Whatever you do in the next position or whatever, you'll only improve. Yes, maybe you can be mindful. How do I approach it is, maybe you'll do more study about it, maybe you'll have mentors, you'll shadow through some people. At least in corporate environment we have those opportunities, right? So
Yes,
you can do
yes.
all of that. You can shadow some mentors, you can have some people helping you at least in the first 3 4 months. You can do a lot of research on how people handle those situations. And nowadays, I mean, back in the day, when in my time, I think we didn't have all those resources. Nowadays everything is out here. You put on Google, how do I take care of my team, and you'll have thousands of articles doing that. So I think everything is learnable, every skill is learnable, there is no failure. But you need to be very very open in your mind that if you don't try it today, someone else will get it. If you think you're eligible, go for it, go for that shot. Don't I don't give a chance to regret later in my life. Regret is a very bad emotion. I always keep saying, I don't want to have a situation where I will say that, okay, I had this opportunity but I didn't take that. Like you said, opportunity is to seize, to grab it. So
Hmm.
grab it, and it will not knock on your door next time. So you will only regret after 2 years, 3 years. Oh shit, I should have taken that position. I should have gone to that particular country. I would have been much better. I would have taken this opportunity. I would have been earning so much more. All of those things we hear, right, on a daily basis, because they have
Hmm.
not taken risk, because they have not been able to grab that opportunity.
Yes, I get. Swati, there's this thing that if you're able to build trust with somebody, it makes your life much easier. But building trust at workplace is really difficult, right? Because there's a lot of competition. You working, your juniors may want to come to your level in year or so. Your bosses are sometimes little scared of giving you lot more opportunity. So in scenario of this high stress scenario or not so good happy type of scenario, how to build trust so you feel comfortable being there?
Hmm. Interesting. So I before I talk about trust, I'll talk about why do people not have trust. Okay.
Yes.
Why do people not have trust? Trust will not come when you have insecurity. Anything, any relationship, any association. Why do we not trust? Like you said, there's competition. Why would I fear of competition if I'm so secure about myself? If I know that what I'm doing the best of my capability and I'm better than all the other people, why would I be insecure? Then I would be open to it, right? Why is my manager not opening up to me, or why is my manager not going giving me more responsibilities, or so to say delegating more responsibilities? A lot of managers, I mean, I train people on delegation, and the common thing that I hear them saying is, Swati, if I delegate my work to my team members, what will I do? Or my team members will feel that I'm incompetent. My dear friend, you have to understand. I keep telling them, you have to understand, if you don't shed away your work, how will you empower that person to come to your position, and how will you be able to take on more? It's
Hmm.
a cycle, right? I mean, it's a cycle. You can't be at that position forever. And there are a lot of people who are in that position forever because of this only, because they have never delegated, because they feel, and the insecurity comes from that only. They feel, मैंने अपना काम दे दिया तो मैं क्या करूंगा? Yeah, people will feel that I'm incompetent. Or a lot of people I've seen, they feel till today, they feel that if I'm not in the office and if work is not happening, it's a good thing. Boss is really really happy. Oh, Swati is not there, and the whole the whole office is going bonkers. Wow, Swati is a great leader. I would say bullshit. Swati is a pathetic leader then. Which means what? She has not empowered people. Leadership is about empowering people. If you hold on to everything yourself, it's a human dependency. And that's something which people don't want. Earlier age, people, even the employers were not aware of this. I mean, a lot of companies, it was okay. But nowadays people are being more advanced. Companies are also becoming more advanced. They are realizing it should be process driven, not human driven. And no one is irreplaceable, right? So first and foremost, remove all the insecurities from your side. I think to build trust, first and foremost, I would say remove the insecurity from your mind. Because the more insecure you are, you will never be able to trust anyone, right? And how do you remove the insecurity? By making yourself competent. Why do we have insecurity? Because I know deep down I don't know Excel. I don't know Power BI tools. I don't know Chat GPT. I don't know this. My manager wants to wants me to make a presentation. I don't know how to make a presentation. I'm insecure. I get my presentations done from my juniors, so I know that, and that's why I'm insecure. And the moment I tell my junior, "अच्छा आप presentation बना के manager को दिखा दो," manager will come to know all the hidden secret, right? That's why I'm insecure. So I know exactly where the insecurities come from. But the problem is we don't want to work on our insecurities also. So if you work on your insecurity, become competent, you know you're doing your job well enough, why will someone chuck you out? Or why will someone, I mean, they need people. They are not hiring you for charity, right? I mean, they need people to work. If you're doing a good job, why would they go outside? It's a simple, whatever, workforce management, right? So if you really want to build trust, first I would say let go of your insecurity, build your competency, become competent, and then once you're competent, I have never had trust issues in my environment with my juniors, with my manager, because I know if I am good enough, I will never be taken off. Or
Hmm.
even if I'm taken off, it's okay. I'll get something outside. No big deal. Right? I mean, there was a layoff season happening as well, right? We all know. So it's okay. But because I'm competent, I don't have to worry about not getting a job or someone else will eat up my job or something like that because I am constantly upgrading myself. One thing I would like to say to everyone, every working professional, and I say that in my community as well, upgrading yourself is the need of the hour. Upskilling yourself, upgrading yourself, keeping yourself up to date. If you're doing that, you will never have any trust issues. You will never have any insecurity with your manager, with your juniors, with your peers, with anyone. Because you know, knowledge, the more competent you are, the better skilled you are, the more confident you are in whatever you do.
Agreed, agreed. And while you were speaking, Swati, I just got one question in my mind, and that is what mindset an individual should adopt, especially when he or she is going through this layoff season, because there will be a period while they are not employed and they might be looking out for better opportunity. For
Mhm.
them to grab good opportunity, what would be the ideal mindset?
Abundance mindset. Abundance mindset. I keep saying that there are a lot of people in my community. So I run a community of, it's called Action Takers Hub. I run a community of working professionals who I help them elevate. So, and there are quite a few people who are on in that layoff phase or have been laid off and looking out for a job, etc. When you're chasing something, whatever it is, when you're chasing money, job, relationship, person, any dream, it'll never come to you. It's like, you're repelling. It's North Pole, South Pole. You're
Hmm.
repelling. You're not coming together. But when you're living in an abundance mindset, which means what? I already have it. Okay. I'm a millionaire already. I already have that job. I'm competent enough to have that job. I'm eligible enough. I know it's easier said than done. And that's the reason why they say, right, when you're in a job, to get a job is easier. But when you're out of a job, to get a job is difficult because your mindset becomes desperate.
Hmm.
Out of desperation, you're seeking out for 10, 20, 30 options. You're not doing a very judicial decision making there. So I would say believe in yourself, be in that mindset that yes, it's okay. Whatever has happened. It's very natural, it's very human. But I have that potential, I have that capability to be able to fetch a job of my own liking whenever and when I require. If you go with that mindset, and it's very important, Namrata, it's very, very important because when you go with a desperation mindset, I'm on Naukri.com or I'm on Times Job, whatever portal, right? And if I'm coming out of a chasing mindset or a desperation mindset, I will apply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 applications. Okay. I'll apply to 10 applications. In the day, people are applying 50, 60 applications. Again, like I said, irrelevant, and you're breaking the algorithm. People come to know, recruiters come to know you're applying to 50 to 100 jobs. You're applying, obviously it's a common recruitment pool, right? I mean, they come to know what you're doing. They know that you're laid off. They know that you're seeking very, very, very aggressively, and automatically you're applying for positions. You've not even looked at the JD. You've not read the JD. You've not seen the company. You've not seen what timings, work timings. Then you go for the interview and say, okay, is it night shift? No, I did not read that. So those are the things that it's catching up. The recruiters are catching all of those things. So it's important for you to make your mindset very, very calm and believe in yourself. You have 10, 15, 20 years experience. Why on earth do you feel that you will not get a job? It's okay. It might take 1 month, it might take 2 months, depends on, see, I mean, the higher position you go, you will take time to get that job, right? And I'm sure, and and that's exactly why they say, you have to keep your backup ready when people are working. So I'll not go into the financial management, but a lot of people, why do they
Hmm.
struggle? Because they haven't saved anything for the rainy days, right? I mean, and that's the reason why suddenly panic button strikes. So this is important that, you keep your mental composure very, very, you keep yourself very, very composed. And that's when you're looking out for jobs, when you're looking out for opportunities with a very composed mindset, and with a mindset that I am eligible for this job and I will get it. With that, you hit the submit button. Trust me, you will get an application, an interview call. But if you think that, oh God, please ho jaye, please ho jaye, please ho jaye, I'll apply to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nahi hoga fir wo aise. It's very difficult then.
Got it, got it. So, Swati, just to summarize, I feel the entire career, like 20, 30, 40 years that individual spends, it's all driven by mindset. Though we are being trained for 15, 20 years on technical skill, like right from academics, and then you pick up professional course, technical course. The contribution of technical course, I think it's minuscule as you go up. It's more driven by the mindset. That is what I get from the conversation that we have. And the way you build yourself is going to define your career journey, whether it is about fulfillment, whether it is about next promotion, team building, delegation. I think whatever you spoke today, the theme revolved around building that mindset.
Absolutely. And it's very, very important. Rightly said, see, there is hard skills and there's soft skills. There is the IQ quotient, intelligence quotient, as an emotional quotient, right? So all these hard skills and intelligence quotient you can build. Colleges, universities, schools, education, certifications can give you that. But how to apply that? If you don't have the right mindset, you'll not be able to apply that, right? And as you go up the ladder, those are the skills which are more going to be tested. You're not going to be tested on how good a coder you are. You're not going to be tested on how good a content developer you are. You're not going to be tested on how good a finance analyst you are. Yeah, you need to have those skills, obviously. But problem solving, decision making, on the foot decision making. You're in front of the client and the client is shouting and very, very aggressive. वहां पर आप बैठ के you're not going to open up the बही खाता and show him. वहां पर आपको composure कैसे रखना है? Your mindset, how do you manage yourself? How do you articulate your thoughts in a positive manner? Those are the things very, very important. How do you face people? How do you face resilience? How to handle how resilient you are? So all those really, really are important aspects as you grow up the ladder, and it's extremely important. And these are skills, unfortunately, Namrata, not taught in school and college. I mean, even in MBA, in the best MBA institutes as well. I am myself an MBA faculty for an executive learning company, but executive MBA company, but not too many detailed things. What happens in the corporate grind, it's not taught. And that's the reason why people, when they go in that factory, they start really breaking up, and I've seen a lot of people do that. So I think more and more awareness about controlling your mindset, having a mindset of this sort is very, very important. That's exactly what I'm doing in my community as much as possible, and spreading that awareness.
Kudos to you, Swati, for all the good work that you are doing. And thank you for sharing your views wholeheartedly. I know definitely this is going to benefit anybody who's going to watch this video. It has really benefited me a lot. Because while we were speaking, I got transported a couple of times to the past incidences in my life. And I could really sense it. Oh, the this is a situation which I could have handled it differently. And I'm definitely going to try root cause analysis for all the past not so good moment that I still carry in my brain.
No, no, it's important, and I'm very, very happy that you have been able to gather some insights from this conversation. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Swati.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye bye.